Welcome to the show, WWE Nation. This is SmackDown Spotlight, your update center for matches and news. Hit that bell and let's begin. The arena went silent, but tension filled every corner of the building. What happened backstage on this night wasn't just a confrontation. It was a statement, a moment that reshaped the dynamics of the bloodline. Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed thought they could challenge the faction, attack members of the family, and walk away unscathed. They underestimated not just the power of the bloodline as a unit, but the sheer force and ferocity of Jacob Fatu. This wasn't about championships, promos, or showmanship. It was about family, loyalty, and consequences. From the moment Fatu appeared, it became clear that the rules had changed, and no one would forget what followed. This was a defining moment in WWE storytelling, a turning point that reestablished the bloodline's dominance and reminded everyone what it truly means to cross the family. The threat. Posed by Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed had been on a path of dominance, bulldozing through opponents and establishing themselves as top-tier threats. Their strength, skill, and confidence made them seem untouchable, and they carried themselves like main event players, regardless of context. Their decision to target GUSO and Roman Reigns was both audacious and reckless. Attacking the core of the bloodline wasn't bravery, it was a miscalculation. They assumed the faction could be tested and provoked without immediate repercussions, underestimating the depth of loyalty and the readiness of its enforcers. Their arrogance was palpable, their celebration over their actions premature. They failed to anticipate that the bloodline's protection extended beyond Roman and Guso, that there was a member who would act decisively and without hesitation when the family's honor was challenged. Jacob Fatu's role in the bloodline. Jacob Fatu has long been a central figure in the bloodline, known for his raw power, agility, and instinctive intensity. He's more than a physical presence. He's a protector, a symbol of the faction's ferocity. While Roman Reigns commands with strategy, and Guso supports with leadership, Fatu operates with instinct, delivering consequences to anyone who dares threaten the family. His timing, precision, and reputation make him uniquely dangerous. When Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed overstepped, Fatu was waiting. He observed, calculated, and struck with an efficiency that left no doubt. Crossing the bloodline comes with consequences. He is the embodiment of the family's warning. Loyalty is enforced, and disrespect is met with swift action. The moment of impact. The attack began without warning. There were no formal announcements, no promos, no entrance theatrics. The lights flickered backstage, signaling the impending arrival of someone ready to settle the score. Before Bron Breakker or Bronson Reed could react, Jacob Fatu emerged and immediately took control. His first strike, a hip attack on Breakker, sent him crashing through equipment cases, the sound echoing through the halls. It was clear from the outset that this wasn't a random brawl. Fatu was precise, focused, and methodical. Every movement, every strike was measured. Breakker tried to fight back, using his wrestling background to land effective shots, but Fatu turned every counter into fuel for his assault, demonstrating his dominance in both physicality and strategy. Systematic dismantling of the opposition. Fatu's attack was methodical and relentless. Bronson Reed, a powerhouse in his own right, attempted to respond, but Fatu treated him as a minor obstacle. Palm strikes, headbutts, and brutal kicks systematically dismantled Reed, a man previously accustomed to crushing opponents. Each move reinforced Fatu's point. The bloodline's enforcers don't just retaliate, they neutralize threats with precision. When Breakker attempted a mid-spear, Fatu countered, lifting him and delivering a Samoan drop onto a production crate, the impact reverberating through the backstage area. Reed wasn't spared. Fatu followed with multiple running hip attacks, leaving no room for doubt about the family's strength. This wasn't chaos for spectacle, it was calculated enforcement, a demonstration that the bloodline protects its own and punishes any who threaten its unity. Message and consequences. Jacob Fatu's attack was more than payback, it was a message. He made it clear that the bloodline isn't vulnerable, and that loyalty within the family is non-negotiable. This wasn't about personal animosity. It was about defending a collective legacy. For Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed, the consequences were immediate and severe. The medical attention they required underscored the seriousness of Fatu's intervention. For the roster and the audience, it served as a stark reminder that actions have repercussions, and crossing the bloodline carries a cost far greater than a loss in the ring. Fatu's response also reestablished the hierarchy within the faction, showing that the bloodline operates with unity, strategy, and the willingness to act decisively when challenged. Implications for WWE and the bloodline. This incident shifts the landscape in WWE. Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed have been positioned as rising threats, yet this encounter reminds the roster that dominance isn't just about physical ability. It's also about respect, alliances, and understanding boundaries. For the bloodline, the attack reasserts the faction's control and demonstrates that every member has a role in defending the family's honor. Roman Reigns' leadership is complemented by Gusso's support and Fatu's enforcer presence, creating a system where threats are anticipated and neutralized. WWE storytelling benefits from such moments because they combine character development, narrative depth, and tangible consequences in a single segment, leaving fans invested in what comes next. Looking ahead. The fallout from this attack will be significant. Will Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed attempt retaliation? Will WWE capitalize on the momentum with matches that further define the bloodline's dominance? The possibilities are vast, and every move will have narrative weight. Fatu's assault isn't just a one-off moment. It sets a precedent for how disrespect toward the family is handled. It also solidifies Fatu's character as a lethal, strategic, and loyal enforcer, a presence that will shape future storylines and influence audience perception. This is a turning point for NXT and WWE storytelling, reinforcing the bloodline's relevance and dominance while delivering a dramatic, unforgettable narrative beat. Conclusion. Jacob Fatu's attack on Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed wasn't just about retribution. It was about enforcing respect, protecting family, and sending a clear message to the WWE roster. This was a defining moment that reasserted the bloodline's authority and demonstrated that loyalty and consequences are inseparable within the faction. By combining precision, power, and timing, Fatu created a segment that will be remembered as a pivotal event in WWE history. For the audience, it's a lesson in hierarchy and consequence. For Bron and Bronson, it's a sobering reminder that crossing the bloodline comes at a price. WWE fans now know that the family doesn't just talk, they act, decisively and effectively, and Jacob Fatu has proven he is the ultimate protector of that legacy.